And then we have our high school. What do you think happens more in the high school cyberbullying? What do you think is going on with that? Yes?
Like sexting.
Sexting becomes very popular.
Maybe more serious threats.
Serious threats.
Death,
Exactly.
kill yourself.
Why do you think they feel okay with doing that, so making those comments? You can't see them. You're right. Yeah. They feel like they can stay anonymous. You're not going to know who sent that message, especially if they send like a blanket message to a lot of people. And then the texting, the internet, it's everybody in school can pretty much get affected by it, the bullying that's happening. And doing the research, is anybody on Facebook? A few people? Not everybody, but a few. That's the largest target for cyberbullying is on Facebook. The largest social media that children do get bullied. And again, these kind of go pretty serious. Oppositional behaviors can start earlier, but you start seeing it in high school, whereas they can get more, they feel that they can resist the authority. Like, I don't have to go to class if I don't want to. You can't make me go to class. You can't make me stay in here, and they'll take off out of classes. At home, you see the oppositional, you can't make me clean my room. I'm not going to do that. And even the tinier children still start doing that too. They start seeing how far can they push the boundaries. It's like, I've been bullied for a long time, and at home, I can take it out on my parents or my siblings. If they've got younger siblings, if they're being bullied, they might start bullying their younger siblings. So that's how you can see that cycle kind of coming down at home as well. Oppositional at this point, if they've been bullied by parents or other adults that are significant in their life, they will start getting more oppositional towards those adults. And they will start talking back and just like, I'm done with this at this point. And you might see some of that physical aggression starting at home as well as at school. And I wanted to give you some statistics for the cyberbullying. Has anybody worked with anyone with cyberbullying? Just one person? What was it like for your client?
I've had several.
Several.
So, a lot of it has been like targeting their ethnicity. They go to like a school that most of the kids don't look like them. Also being pressured to send naked pictures and then blasting it out. So then tricking them into sending it and blasting it out to the rest of the school. So it's pretty bad stuff.
Pretty serious, life-changing.
Yeah.
For the rest of their life. Anybody else? Thank you for sharing that. So it was blasting out naked pictures and ethnicity, like if they don't go to a school that has the same ethnicity that they're getting bullied.
We have a lot of kids that post on Instagram and they make pages, and so these are the school codes and these are the school whatever, and they put their pictures up, and then you get parents up and they want to know, but you can't figure out who posted it, and it's such a mess. Because of that anonymous feature, and so we can just go by what we can find out.
Right. So what it was is Instagram. Some of the students in some schools are making Instagram pages and posting uncomplimentary phrases about the children, like this is the school hose, or this is different
hotties. So you want to be
hotties.
on one,
Oh,
but you
okay.
don't want to be on the other.
You want to get over.
The new DA cybercrimes unit?
We're going to go into that in just a second, how you can do some. No, you're good. So there are protections for families. Schools can actually request that they take them down, those sites, but again, they could pop right back up the next day. So it's somebody's constantly. I know IT managers in schools are busy trying to take care of these things and protect the children as much as they can. Yes?
I have an example of a young man used to date a girl in middle school, and I'm a high school counselor, and he had a new girlfriend, and she had a picture of him, and then produced the picture and tried to put it on the social media when he was with the new girl.
Oh.
I had to contact and work with the administration to get it taken down.
So trying to hurt someone that broke up with them and try to break up that new relationship. Yes.
And waited a year and then posted it. They were together in middle school and they're now in high school, and he had a new girlfriend in high school, and she produced the picture she had.
Wow, okay. So she waited a while. She was planning that cruelty there. She's serious about that relationship, wasn't she? All right. Do what?
I had to work with the administration because she was a current student there. If they're not a student at your school, it's a little more difficult as she was. And you work with the administration and police and have the young man go in and write a report and contact parents.
And it's definitely important for the children to know that these are legal. There are legal consequences that can happen to them for the cyberbullying. They don't believe that they can get caught. And so you can't get them. But, I try to remind them, it's like, this is a federal offense. This is, when you're doing the naked pictures, it's child pornography, even if it's your own picture. So reminding the dangers and the seriousness of what's going on with their choices. And it's great that the administration's behind supporting and taking care of the victims of the bullying. I love hearing those, how the schools are interacting and supporting the families and the children. A lot of times the schools don't know that this is happening, and that's when it's really hard because the parents are like, why aren't you protecting my child? And it's like, we didn't know. Nobody's told us about this. So I just want to give you some of the statistics. Let me put on my extra pair of eyes here real quick. It says that only 7% of the U.S. population of parents worry that their children are going to be bullied if they let them use the technology as they want to. Reality, it's closer to 85% of children actually have some sort of bullying when they are on technology. So there's a lot of parents who are just hoping their kids are using technology right or have the right connections, their friends, whatever they want to believe with that. Who do you think gets bullied more, girls or boys? Girls, why? Why are girls picked on social media so much more? Boys like to be physical, exactly. Boys want to get it over with. We're going to fight and get it over with. So even though it does tend to drop, it does get more physical when it's a boy issue. Boys don't usually want to go online and try something like that unless they're trying to get back at a girl for something or embarrass them. But boys, against boys, it's usually more physical. Any other thoughts?
Girls are more relationship based, so we connect more that way, so we can support that way too.
Relationships, emotional, yes. That's definitely something that, that sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I wish that would go away because words stick and they stay longer. It's sometimes, not always, easier to get over being punched in the arm than to have somebody say, oh, I know you slept with so-and-so. And they're like, what? News to me, right? But, it is hard for children to get over that stigma. How do you get over that stigma of something being posted? No ideas. Hopefully we're going to go through some ways to help build them back up again to get over that stigma. Because once it's on social media, it's on social media. You can take it down as much as you want, but once it's been seen, it can't be unseen. So people might start questioning, do I really know that person? Do I want to know that person? Do I want to believe what I'm seeing? And so it starts a lot of questioning, and it makes it very difficult in those school years. It also is difficult at home. So what do you do? I mean, how do you tell your parents somebody's posting naked pictures of you? What are your parents going to say? How did they even get naked pictures of you? Where did they come from? So then there's that feeling of, I know I did something wrong, but look at the level it went to. So, you know, a lot of times they don't want to tell their parents about what's going on. They get embarrassed because they may have done something one time, one picture for one person, and now it's everywhere. Do you know the technology now where they could take a picture in their swimming suit, and the next picture that goes around social media, they're naked? They were never naked.
Photoshop.
A lot of that is happening as well, and then it's going out on the social media, and they're like, I didn't do that. But their parents are like, you must have. How did it get there? How did that happen? And they're like, I don't know. Don't know where it came from, don't know how it happened. And so those are things that can't come away from our children. And the cyberbullying can be just ugly words. You know, it could just be name calling. It could be threatening ethnicity. It could be threatening religion. It could be threatening so many things. What do you think it leads to? I mean, we've kind of got some ideas up here. Large amount of depression and anxiety. I will say at our hospital setting, the majority of our children, once we start working through the depression and the anxiety and the fears, we find out that there's some type of bullying going on that has never been addressed. And somehow these bullies were able to pick up on the fact that they were maybe feeling bad about themselves or disliking themselves when maybe their parents didn't quite see that. They thought, oh, they're socially, you know, they're doing well, they're doing good in school. They may have one or two friends, but that's okay. You know, not every kid has like a whole herd of friends, right? But the bullies notice that, and they notice when they're alone, and they'll start picking on them. And then parents, how do you think parents feel? Have any of you worked with the parents of children who are bullied?
Guilty for not finding out earlier.
They feel guilty. They're like, I didn't realize that's what was going on.
I work in a school district, and recently a complaint I keep hearing is my kid isn't the bully, he's being bullied. But we will see the child doing it. It's not just once or twice, I'm hearing it's like a lot. Do you know anything about that, or is there more to the story possibly?
It would be interesting to find out what's going on at home, because when the children aren't accepting responsibility and then the parents are also not accepting responsibility, there's something more in the dynamics in that child's life that's going on with them. So the parents can make excuses for them. That my child would never do that. I've heard that forever.
Telling a parent I'm being bullied, they give all these examples of being beaten up and talked about, but all we ever observe is the opposite. The child's doing it.
With those families, what I usually recommend is finding a safe place for that child to come in. To, you know, whenever they feel like they're being bullied, come let us know right away. Let us work with you on that. Don't wait and then go home and tell your parents, come in right away, because what we see, and this happens a lot, is that you've got those silent bullies that will come up and they're like, I'm gonna get you after school. And you know, and they've got that silence in the ear, and the kiddo's like freaking out, so they go attack first. Or they're like, shut up, leave me alone. And then they're the ones who get in trouble. So we encourage them, if you are really being bullied, this is a way to be safe. This is who you can come talk to. This is how we can address that. And see if maybe it lessens. Because they usually are the ones who get caught. The ones who are much more outgoing are the ones who get caught. And that's what I tell the children. I'm like, it's the silent ones that we have to kind of sometimes find, because most bullies do it where people can't see them. They don't want to get caught. Or they have their little herd of friends that are going to protect them if they do start bullying. So just kind of on the watch for those two. That safe place usually can help. And it lets the parents see that you're hearing them, and maybe something different will come out of that. Thank you. All right. I know y'all are ready for the fun part, right? It's like you made us come up. So we just talked about why they may not ask for help. What are their friends going to say, especially our boys? If they say, I'm being picked on, somebody's picking on me, how's that going to come across? How are our boys supposed to be? Society. The tough ones, the strong ones. Why can't you handle yourself? So if they get that message, are they going to tell people somebody's picking on them? Not often. I know a lot of programs now are trying to encourage children to do more of that, like come forward and talk about it. But it's a fear of, who's going to be my friend if somebody's picking on me? I'm going to lose friends. It may be fear of that person may come back in retribution. I worked with a family just recently where, the normal thing is as you go to an administrator, you tell them about the bullying, or you tell your parents. Well, she went and told her parents it was happening to get the support. Parents went to the school, and the school did. They wanted to do a peer mediation with the children, and they said you can no longer be within a certain amount of space, and this child had, I don't remember which, I think the one that was bullying had to go between classes the 2 or 3 minutes before every bell schedule. So it wasn't the child that was being bullied, wasn't having to be punished from, not being able to be with their friends. It was the one who was bullying. Well, guess what? Our bully had friends. Our bully went and told her friends, get her in PE. So where do they go in PE? The locker rooms. Are the coaches always right there? They're not supposed to be in there. I know when I was in school, I was like, I wouldn't want my coaches just kind of staring, right, when you're trying to change clothes. So they would come up and they started the bullying. So it expanded. So that fear was there of, now who do I tell? Because if I get them in trouble, she's in trouble, how much more is going to happen? They were able to squish it and put into place the legal part of the threats and the bullying. But it did take a lot to get this. And she's like, oh my gosh, now I can't even tell my parents what's going on because it just got worse and worse. And the way they found out the other girls were bullying her was she started getting sick and skipping school. She would not go to PE. I mean, a lot of people don't want to dress out, but she wouldn't even go, not just the refusal to dress out for PE.